Dead Rails is about to get a massive update, and not just a massive update, but many massive updates in the very, very near future. So as you all know, the updates for Dead Rails have kind of slowed down to a bit of a crawl. We used to get updates every single week, and then it started being every 2 weeks. Now it's just still kind of every 2 weeks, but the days are kind of sporadic. And the content that we're kind of getting is really not that great. I had a lot of people that were complaining in my comments about the potion update in particular, and a lot of you guys really just did not want to see any videos to do with the potions. I can't really blame you on that front, but essentially all of the things that we really want, we're gonna get really soon. I'm expecting to get all kinds of new ores, all kinds of new locations, maybe an extension to the game. And it's not just me yapping. I have some proof behind this. So of course, if you want to keep up to date with all of the upcoming updates for Dead Rails, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 300k by the end of the year, and that would be absolutely incredible if you could help. But now let's get into when we're going to see some of these massive updates and some of the stuff that we could possibly see in them. So recently in the official Dead Rails Discord server, Rico, the, I guess, lead dev, posted a bit of an update here saying, hey everyone, since the game and Discord are growing so quickly, I wanted to give you all a quick update on where we are now and where we are headed. If you are new here, Dead Rails is made by me and Memer Monkey. We're not a big company, it's just two of us on top of developing the game. So effectively, yeah, if you guys didn't know, they are just two guys that are working on this game here. So I'm not really that surprised with how massive the game's gotten out of nowhere, that things get a little bit delayed and schedules are kind of messy, I guess. Rico continued here saying, I also handle all the legal stuff, taxes, and coordinating with Roblox, and as you can imagine, it's a lot and it's starting to burn me out. Again, with just two guys working on it, I'm very unsurprised at the fact that updates and stuff have been fairly slow, and that there's a lot of complicated stuff that comes with having a game that just blows up like this. So now, because of all this, he's working on setting up a group as a real business and bringing in more developers to help. Now, this is going to be one of the biggest things because of the fact that it's just two guys dealing with all of this stuff. So there's not really going to be a crazy amount of time between everything else that's going on behind the scenes to actually push out some really solid content, the kind of thing that we're wanting to see. So of course, ideally, the only thing that you will notice are going to be faster updates and fewer bugs. Now, this is where I think things are going to get kind of crazy, because if we're going to be getting more developers with more perspectives, we're going to see a lot more broad and a lot more game-changing content that I think we all know is really much needed. However, the messages do not actually end there, because Rico actually just said this morning that he's back from a much-needed break and that he has the most awesome update planned. Now, this could be any myriad of things, but this is where I get most excited about this because of the fact there's an endless amount of possibilities of anything that we could get. Of course, he did continue the message though, saying since I was away last week, I might need to delay it by a few days just to make sure everything runs smoothly and I'm able to get everything done. So our next update might not be until maybe early next week or so, assuming that that's whenever this next update's coming. But there's definitely a good handful of things that we could look forward to seeing very, very soon. Right now, the gameplay loop is fairly fun. I do really enjoy playing the game, but there are for sure times where I'm playing and I'm just like, man, I just wish there was more stuff to do. I wish there were more ores to mine. I wish there were more enemies to fight. I wish the game was longer. So what kind of stuff are we kind of expecting to see? Now, that unfortunately we don't have any leaks of or anything like that at the moment, but the number one thing that I would hope is on their priority list is going to be new locations. Now, you can think of any number of new ideas that we could stand to see. I'd like to see something maybe like a massive prison complex, maybe something like an old-timey saloon that has like a bartender zombie. Now, we could definitely stand to get a handful of new weapons as well. We do have a pretty decent assortment right now, but a little bit of extra variety wouldn't hurt. I definitely expect for us to see more trains as well. Regular player classes, I think we have all of our bases covered for the time being. Maybe a couple of rebalances here and there for some of the older classes are definitely due, because certain things like the Ironclad are just useless right now. But we really only have 3 different varieties of train right now. The normal one, the cattle car, and the armored train, which I think pretty much also kind of cover the bases, but I think that we could definitely see much larger variety with different types of trains. And I feel like that's also something that we're definitely going to see in the near future, considering how many classes for the players that we got as quickly as we did. So definitely, I think we're going to see more trains in the coming future. I'd also like to see a bigger variety in armor as well, which I think we could expect at some point to see the armor system expanded on quite a bit, and probably the inventory as well, because right now the entire game just effectively functions on the default Roblox backpack, which definitely does work, and clearly people don't really mind so much considering the player count of the game. But I think a good refining of the inventory system would be a bit nice. Also, a lot of other generic things like bug fixes and stuff we're definitely going to see, as they said. That's one thing that we did get confirmed. But this is just overall huge news for the future of Dead Rails. I know a good handful of people have been talking about how Dead Rails' player count has been falling off, and it definitely has dropped by about 25-ish% on average. It's still really, really high in the grand scheme of Roblox, but a lot of content creators have views slipping. There's really not much content to go on. The player count's dropped a little bit, so we are in dire need of more content, more updates, and maybe even a beta version of the game, because yeah, the game is still in alpha. Dead Rails hasn't seen a major overhaul overhaul as of yet, other than pretty much just a couple of random little updates here and there. Now, don't take any of what I'm saying as a point of criticism. I'm not saying, oh, the game is dying. Every single Roblox game has its ups and its downs, but the community at large is looking for more content, more things to do, which is exactly why I'm saying that it's fantastic news that they're bringing more developers on, because this really does seem like kind of something that not two people can handle just by themselves. So I 100% understand the kind of thing that they're dealing with. So again, don't remotely take this as me criticizing the devs. This is just me being excited for the fact that we're actually about to get a lot more content and a lot more updates. Of course, more enemies getting added to would be a very large thing, and I think we should get some kind of aspect of maybe mini bosses of the sort. I think that that could be something that we'd potentially see at some point in the near future. But again, that's just one of many ideas. Now, there's actually a little bit more on the message here from Rico, because I know a lot of people have been worried about games being bought out like crazy. I know a lot of people are looking to grow a garden, for instance, where that got bought out by a big company. But Rico says here, I know some people are worried about Dead Rails being bought by a big company, and all I will say is they can try, but they'll have to pry it from my cold, dead hands. Now, of course, that is a message that I like to see a lot, because I know that's been a big concern, that Dead Rails is just going to get bought out, turn pay to win, and everyone's just going to quit the game immediately overnight. But so far, so good. It looks like we're going to see consistent updates in the future, regular bug fixes, a lot more updates, and a lot more frequent updates at that. And I think that there's definitely high hopes for the future of Dead Rails on Roblox. Now, that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. Effectively, we just got confirmation that we're going to be getting more frequent updates, larger updates, and more bug fixes. So I think everything is looking super solid, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments section below. And of course, I'd also love to know what kind of things that you'd like to see added to Dead Rails. And hey, hopefully we'll be able to see some of your guys' recommendations in the near future. With all that said, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Big shout out to all the channel members up on screen. You guys are absolutely incredible. And of course, if you were to become one too, you could do so with the join button on my channel. Don't forget as well, just to hit that subscribe button at the very least, so you can keep up to date with all the latest and greatest Dead Rails content and updates. And with all that said, I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you later, dudes. Peace.